Like in the first 4 weeks, I feed them all through from morning till the next morning. You max your feeding 24/7. That is, they don't rest. They eat every time. They are always finding food around them. So when they get to like around 4 or 5 weeks, they would have already attained 2.8, 3.1 kg. Most of the times, the only supplement I add is probably calcium because of their leg problem, overweight and all. You can see this particular one I have with me here is having a kind of deformed leg. This is because of the overweight. All this kind of little diseases that you not even notice. To avoid them setting in, you give them vitamin. When you feed them at Libitum, you can sell your broiler chicken 5 weeks and few days. Rice bran can actually serve as a supplement. I had a mortality rate of 30 something at a point in time, or even 50. How? Because of the heat. Okay. Broilers used to like experience what we call overweight, and it deforms their leg in a way. That's why we add calcium to their feed. You can see this particular one I have with me here is having a kind of deformed leg. You can see this is because of the overweight. I think this happened around the 3rd week, or between the 2nd week and 3rd week, because it's like took more than it could afford with this particular leg. The weight was too much for the leg to bear. So it started moving, like forcing itself to move. Then from there, the leg twisted in a way. Since then, we've been trying to administer, to add calcium supplement to their feed, which is like actually getting better. Because if you saw it before, it's it twisted like the other side. You won't even see the leg again. It was like this. So by the time you started taking the calcium supplement, it's getting better. And the thing about it is that when they have deformed leg, they won't be feeding like the others again, and it will affect their weight. You can notice that it has a lesser weight compared to the others, because it won't be taking what it's supposed to take like the others. So that's the function of calcium. I think every farmer experiences this. My name is Mubarak Surutu, and I'm a poultry farmer. For broiler chicken, in my own perspective, I think deep litter is better off when we talk about their bone, because there is always like deformities with their bones when you make use of battery cage system. They are on cages, and they won't have the grip as they will have it on deep litter. Deep litter, you can just make use of wood shavings, rice bran and all. Just put it on the ground to start working. But either ways, you experience bone deformities, like you have leg problem, all these overweight issue, but it's still bearable when you use deep litter. During the dry season, I used to have a problem before during the dry season because of the sun. I had a mortality rate of 30 something at a point in time, or even 50. How? Because of the heat. I learned from my experience. I was like, what was happening? I provided everything I was supposed to. Then, because the sun was coming in, I was like, this sun will be disturbing them. Then I put down the sack. I experienced probably like 20. Then the next 3 days or 4 days, I raised up the sack, and I still had mortalities. I was like, what's happening? Because of the heat. Then I did my research, and I referred back to some lecturers, and they told me it's because of the heat. That the heat in their body already cannot be relieved by dropping the sack or opening the sack as far as the sun is pointing directly at them. So it was like they had enough lot of fat in their body already. So the only thing I could do was just to probably dip their buttocks. Do you understand? Like dip their buttocks inside probably a bowl of water, all of them, one by one. I should be doing that when I notice that the heat is too much. Then I did it, it was okay. Then I was like, would I be doing this for a very long period of time? I'm wearing like 150, 200 days. I will now be dipping every afternoon. This is not the way. I did my research again. I noticed that vitamin C helps to like cool down their body. So I started buying vitamin C. Then I noticed that I still experienced probably 5 mortality after them. I had to like still go for like research and ask around again. And someone told me to be spraying water on them. And I started doing that. I coupled it with vitamin C I was buying. Then from then I started using probably vitamin C today. In the next 3 days, I will just wet them so little amount of water. And since then, I've not been experiencing anything again. You can see This place is kind of like the sun rays have reflected here, and most of them have moved to one side, trying to avoid the direct sunlight. You can see. If the sun was more than this, then you won't even see any one of them here. That's why in the afternoon, if we were to give them feed, we don't give feed here, just give them around this place. When I'm trying to detect a kind of abnormality in them, I check around the litter to see if I have any kind of abnormal color. When I have any kind of abnormal coloration, like too much green, like red, and all this kind of diarrhea symptoms, like when you have watery poop, I'll buy what is antibiotics, drugs like Bioxil and all. Buy it for them. I give them anticoxy and all. So all those things are to prevent disease from setting in. There are certain antibiotics that you give to your pets that can actually prevent and even cure, even though they had it already. But it's always better to prevent before they have it. When you follow these normal procedures, give vaccine the first 7 days, give vaccine the next 14 days, then you start giving them, you give them anticoxy, you give them antibiotics as well. Then from there, in the next, probably the last 2 weeks, after the 4 weeks, you must have completed their drugs. The next 2 weeks, you just need to keep up with the feed and then give them as much water as possible. Yeah, I feed my chicken at Libitum, which means like I feed them like all around 24 hours because I'm looking for a quick reaction. I want them to grow up as soon as possible. Like you feed to the max, like you max your feeding 24/7. That is, they don't rest. They eat every time. They're always finding food around them. Broilers, as soon as you give them feed, they will eat. Like in the first 4 weeks, I feed them all through, from morning till the next morning. So by the time you start feeding them, you feed them like all through 2 weeks. I pack them out of the brooding room, pack them out here. I'll still continue the Libitum feeding. So when they get to like around 4 or 5 weeks, they would have already attained 2.8, 3.1 kg between 4 and 5 weeks. Then from them, I start reducing like the rate at which I feed them. Reducing probably morning and night. Most of the times, the only supplements I add is probably calcium because of their leg problem, overweight and all. Calcium helps their bone formation. With all this feed we have around, they don't really like provide enough calcium in the feed. It's more of protein and then carbohydrate and probably some fats as well. So, and the way we rear broilers these days, we provide for them more than they can afford. That's why you notice overweight. You see their body being bigger than what their leg can actually like hold. So that's why you need to provide like extra supplement of calcium to improve their bone formation. And I give them vitamin as well. So all this kind of little disease that you not even notice, to avoid them setting in, you give them vitamin, and it improves their immune system as well. It improves their immune system. It will let the food they are taking react or be useful for them like as much as possible.